Jackson gave me the news of a planet far away. And Colonel O'Neill will assemble a team that will try to save the day. Dr. Sam has a master plan and a science attitude. And a job for Teal, he's part of the deal with his trusty Goa'uld. It's just a regular day at Stargate Command, and it might be hard to understand.
Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Oh god, this is gonna happen. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 launched. We have a stable world.
Merry Frymas, everyone.
Am I just not hearing you?
Oh, fuck, really?
I don't know. Are other people not hearing you? It might just be me.
It was working like 30 seconds ago. Can anyone hear me? What the fuck? Just take over, Wells.
Everyone in the comments, can you hear Sarah? Is it a me thing or is it a Sarah thing?
Okay, you can hear me.
Can you hear Sarah?
Okay, it's a you problem.
Then why
Wells.
can't I hear you?
We were just talking. We were doing the podcast before the podcast.
Talk now.
We were doing the podcast before the podcast.
What is going on?
Everything was working fine. And then Aki came and blared my eardrums out per the norm.
I literally can't hear anything all of a sudden.
Again? Technical problems.
You know, just talk to the folks out there. I'll try to figure it out. Just give us, don't give any like spoilers for things. Just give me a minute.
Merry Frymas, everybody. We are here for a very special holiday themed episode. Oh God, now I'm center stage. What's happening? You'll notice that we are 1 fry short of 3 fries short. We shall explain, but I want to make sure Wells gets their shit together. Come on. I'm not a one-woman show over here. Can you hear me now?
I had to flip it. So it was set to my, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So it was set to my headphones. But I had to flip it off my headphones and then back onto my headphones. Like all of a sudden it just didn't work. Like everybody out there literally just been talking to each other.
We were talking for like 20 minutes.
I know.
The podcast before the podcast.
All right. We're good now, though.
Anyway, we're here for a special holiday episode. Merry Frymas to you all. We're going to do a year in review, so to speak, and like what's to come. And then we're going to talk about some like holiday Christmassy stuff to get you guys in the holiday mood.
You may notice that we are 1 fry down. And that's because life happens and kiddos get sick and priorities are family, especially if not around the holidays, then when. So Christina is here in spirit. She may pop here in the comments at some point. But instead of just excluding her completely, I did want to allow Christina to hold space for herself during this episode. So we have Christina's totally here. This is totally not a still picture.
Normal. Yeah.
Perfectly normal. That is Christina, clearly. You just can't see her moving, but she's there. And also, I would like to propose a game to everyone in the comments as we go through some of our talking points. If you can think of something that you think Christina would say, drop it in the comments as Christina. So like Christina : and we're going to make Christina be here without being here. So so get your like, this is the game. I know a lot of you out there are totally capable of doing this. I have faith in you. So if it's a what would Christina say and you come up with something, just toss it in the comments. And we will make Christina be here in even more than spirit. I would like to put it that way. So yeah.
So, and we do have some notes from her. So she has contributed to the conversation as well. So we'll add those in as we discuss all the things we're going to talk about. So the first thing, I guess, is our year in review. This has been our biggest year yet. We've done so much. We're just keep getting like each year is getting better and better.
Yeah.
We the first thing I want to say, I think, is that we went to Basingstoke in London and we met so many people. For me, like social media is great and all, but I get a little bit of that like it's like this technology blindness. And then like when I meet people in person, it really solidifies.
Mhm.
'Cause I'm like, sometimes I'm like, "Who is this person again?" Like, "Wells, who is that? Did we Oh, yeah, okay." Like, I have it's I'm sorry. Like,
No, it's
I
true.
it's like a safety mechanism to, like, help me keep distance from certain things on social media, try to set some boundaries. But being able to meet so many people in the UK and really, like, get a chance to sit and talk to people, um, it was a wild ride for sure, for multiple reasons. We did the panel with Amanda, who was lovely and radiant, and we got her photo op with her where we crowned her Queen of our Hearts.
Oh, why don't I have that? I should
Sorry,
I should have
I
prepared that.
didn't think
I should
yeah,
have
we have
prepared
some
better.
pictures up too to go over some stuff.
You know what?
But
We'll do an IG post with some of these things afterwards too,
year
so
in
we can
review, yeah.
yeah, so we can share all the things there.
So that was in May, and then in July, we did Shore Leave, which is in my neck of the woods. So the 2 other fries road tripped up to good old Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Um, and again, like, we met with Terrell and Amanda, and we did a panel there, and we did a lot of fun stuff there with them as well. Um, and then, Wells, I'll let you speak to the rest of this because you've been doing a lot of work with the book. You did the San Antonio Space Con, which
Yeah.
I was not there for, so, like, fill in the gaps.
Yeah, for me, my crazy year kind of started in April actually when I came up to Philly. That was the first
Oh,
any
yeah.
kind of mental health IRL con panel, and it was with Michelle Hurd, actually the first one.
I did go to
Uh,
that with you, yeah.
yeah, you popped up
I popped
for
in.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And technically, I guess our year kind of started back last January, um, when we did part 3 of Embracing Mental Health, online with Amanda. That was kind of like the first big thing for our year, and then we ended up having a chat with Terrell,
Mhm.
online as well. So, and then in April, Galactic D&I Con in Philadelphia happened, had a great conversation with Michelle Hurd, and this was, like, back when we're talking about the book with Amanda. I literally just had that one poster. I had no other I had postcards and a poster and, like, no other materials, and then
Yeah.
as we've done, like, con after con with the companion especially, we've, like, slowly, like, "Okay, we'll do T-shirts." Well, so now it's a purple shirt thing, that wasn't there at the beginning, and just
Yeah.
to see how much of that has grown throughout all of these cons, and also our relationships with the community and with Amanda
Oh,
and
yeah.
Terrell. It's just, like, wild to see how much growth has happened since,
Yeah.
January 2024, and then so, yeah, in October, Christina and I flew out to, SpaceCon in San Antonio. Amanda was originally supposed to be there, she had to cancel for work, which we all know she's been doing a six-month-long gig. She's done with it now, everybody, yay!
Yay.
Um, and then, so we were there, we met up with a lot more companion folks, got to, hang out with Terrell again. It was not I don't and every con that I've done this year, because I also did Dragon Con by myself, just, like, as a booth.
Yeah.
And so every con has had its unique aspects. They've all been different, they've all been vastly different sizes too. Like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
the most varied con season this year I think I've ever had. I was definitely the more I've never gone to 5 cons in a year before, and I went to 5 cons this year, which is pretty wild. Um, and yeah, and we so I don't I think people think, because I certainly think that all of the stuff with the book have been has been going on a lot longer, but that was literally announced in, like, February, March
Really?
was when we decided we were gonna do a book.
Wow.
And then submissions started in April, I believe, when we first
Mhm.
started, like, calling for submissions. They're still open All 18 questions are available on YouTube, by the way. I'm slowly adding them to Instagram, but if you want any of the questions you want to watch Amanda ask you, they're all on the Companions YouTube now. You can watch them all.
And I love them, honestly. Like every time I watch it, every time it pops up, and I'm like, oh, let me listen to this queen talk about whatever beautiful thing she's going to talk about.
Yep. I
I
can't wait. I know she's got really great ideas for what she's going to say in the book itself too.
I so cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
So excited.
We're planning to hopefully have enough submissions by mid-January that we can cut the submissions off and really focus on shift to layout and try to get it in production
together.
Yeah, we have a lot of pre-orders, and we have probably I want to say around 300 pre-orders of the book. We of course want more, but I think we'll also do a Kickstarter for this as well. So if you have already pre-ordered the book, then you know you've got the book. If you haven't, you'll have an opportunity for a couple of different options on a Kickstarter. And if you've ordered the hardback nice book, but you're like me and you're like want to display that and never crack it open, I think we're going to try to do some paperbacks too. So like you'll have options in the Kickstarter. They also will likely involve enamel pens as perks and things as well, because that's the other big thing that we did this year was all the mental health enamel pens.
You guys killed that.
Yeah, everybody should be getting their. I have 11 orders right here that I have to reach out to people because things weren't filled out correctly. But besides that, everything else has been sent.
Well's claws over there, delivering the Christmas joy.
Yeah. Lawrence put that picture. I put it in Discord, in the companion Discord, and then Lawrence put it in the newsletter too, of like all the things in the back of my trunk. It was pretty. Yeah. It was pretty, and that was one trip. I did 3 trips. Like that was one trip. Yeah. So the post office was not happy with me. They're like, in the middle of holiday season, and I'm like,
yes, bitch.
Isn't this your job? Like I'm giving the post office money.
Correct.
So yeah, all of that. It's really weird to think that literally all of that happened not even a full year ago when all of that got started. That's how quickly all of this came about. And it's just been a wild ride. And the year has been full of really hard things too, obviously. So when I look back on it, I like it's been the highest highs and some of the lowest lows. But yeah, it's been a crazy year.
Yeah. And I'm excited for the year to come. I think it's gonna be great.
Yes. So yeah, again with the book, everybody out there, if you wait, I have a banner now. We're gonna yeah, there you go. You can go to amandatappingbook.org if you want to contribute to the book. And even if your non-Stargate fan friends are in fandom of some sort, we want them too. It's not just a Stargate fandom thing.
Yeah.
I'm currently working on a schedule for cons for next year for companion stuff. And if it's companion stuff, it's probably going to be at least some of us fries, if not all of us fries, depending on where it is and timing and everything. But you have your own very personal important thing next year, Sarah. So totally understand that you got other things going on. Yeah. And then
the year to come. So the book will be out next year, right? When do you plan on that actually like getting into people's hands?
We would really love to have it out. And we work fast at the companion. But we would love to have it out if we can by Ascension, which is in May. It's the big UK con Amanda's supposed to be at in May.
Okay.
So because we would ultimately love to set up like some kind of reading or something basically.
Yeah. I'll have to try to really go to that one if we're doing that one.
It could be a really, really good one. Obviously if Amanda's work schedule does things, it'll be like San Antonio and we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice to kind of have that as like a kickoff for the book and have that be a place and hopefully have them there so people can buy them there. Like it'd be really we have a book. We have a whole book. It's just so weird to think about. Yeah, that should be a good one though. Ascension looks jam-packed full of people. I'm still working on coordinating things with them and trying to get them, as far as whatever whatever panels we might be able to do or anything like that there. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then one other thing next year I really want to make sure that we talk about is we still have Patreon patrons and we still appreciate you so much. I was having a hard time honestly with software costs the other day, and I realized we have Patreons. We have patrons. They
Yeah.
have given us money. So it's greatly appreciated, y'all, because StreamYard costs
Truly.
money.
Canva, we use
Canva
Canva.
costs money. Everything costs money. And so to honor that and to acknowledge that, we really want to do a really good Patreon revamp.
Yeah.
That includes some other perks and things that we know we can deliver for you, even if it's like one cool pin or something a year on top of other things. Like we're gonna try to redo it and make it really beneficial for y'all as well.
Yeah.
But just know that it is appreciated if you are currently supporting us on Patreon.
Truly.
It really helped last week. I was in it trying to figure things out for money last week. Because the holidays and
Yeah.
Chris and I went to Toronto and like all of this stuff. It's just been a lot. I love to travel and I love that work is letting me travel. And I'm traveling for work, but it's expensive, y'all.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. So yeah, just know we're like, if any, some merch ideas or some little freebie things, in addition to maybe some offline, online, but like off live chat sort of options, things like that is what I think we'll try to do for you. So
Yeah.
there you have it.
More to come.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned before too, like
We have no intention of stopping, y'all.
No,
Like we're not gonna
and I know we mentioned before, like expanding and starting to talk about other shows, like the Golden Girls was, I think, the kind of one that we targeted in on.
really want to do Golden Girls.
I really do want to do that too, but then like logistically doing 2 podcasts. Once we get back into like a steady flow of things, like I think that's something we can definitely revisit. So stay tuned. We love to yap, so
We do. We
never a
do.
shortage of things to yap about.
Speaking of yap, I'll say it now and then we'll say it at the end of the episode as well, but please join us next week on the 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. British time. Everybody else, I'm sorry, I don't know all of the time zones. But we will be speaking with our dear friend, Terrell Rothery, to round out our year next week.
Yeah.
It will be their first appearance on Three Fry Short, actually. Which is really funny because we've talked to her so much, but she's never been on this podcast.
So weird. Yeah.
She's never heard our banging theme song. Like it's gonna be fun.
She's so sweet, lovely human being. Can't wait. And we're gonna talk about, again, I will bang this drum forever and ever, amen. We're not gonna ask her the same questions that you're asked or you hear in every Stargate interview. We're gonna talk about like what she wants to talk about and kind of take it from there. Maybe.
Yeah, we do have, if you sent questions in September for her,
yeah.
I still have them. They're still there and they are queued up.
Yes.
They're also some great questions in there too. Like solid. If you do want to still submit a question, you can. I really should be better about this. You can email that question to threefreshpodcast@gmail.com. That's 3, the word, not the number. Or you can go onto our Instagram and find the post, and you can just comment under the post as well. Any way you want to do it. We will prioritize, like Sarah's saying, not the same Stargate questions that have been asked a billion times.
Like, how did it feel when you were killed on the, like, we know she's talked about that ad nauseum in length. Like,
I just don't even like thinking about asking her that question personally. I don't want to ask her that question. So, but yeah, like any kind of cool personal questions, mental health. She does all this mindfulness stuff and she does coaching, and we'd love to talk to that about her. Some random, give us a rando question. Like, give us like some whatever, be decent, y'all. Like, don't be inappropriate, but like, yeah, give us random questions. You could also ask us a question if you want to. I mean, I know Terrell's more interesting, but we did actually get 1 or 2 directed at us as well. So
I'll have to look at that note. But so that's our year in review and year to come. lots of things happening with the fries. So let's get
Yeah.
into let's get into like our holiday discussion.
What do you think, Christina? I'm just so excited about everything that we have coming up. It's just going to be really great. I don't know. I'm terrible at impersonating Christina. Y'all.
Gotta add something about like the vibes or the aura or something
Mhm.
like that. I don't know. Hinky woo woo. We
Hinky
need a dose
woo-woo.
of that.
Christina, we miss your hinky woo woo.
Her and Tara will get along because of that.
I know. It's like there's very clear line when
Yeah.
it's the four of us talking. It's so funny.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, just be there next week. Be there next week, Christina. We need you because
Yeah.
you talk Tarot's language.
Healing crystals and all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yep.
Cool. So, yeah, so we have a couple topics like planned out for you. We're going to talk about favorite traditions, favorite holiday food, favorite holiday movies, and holiday songs, and then like some holiday hot take. You know, I got to talk shit. Honestly, I didn't even propose that one. Well, set that one up. They know me very well.
I did.
But some like
And then we
holiday
have a
hot
fun
takes.
Yeah, and then we have a fun Stargate segment. So buckle up and hang in there, y'all, because I'm kind of excited to see what happens with that.
Yeah. And for the sake of I don't know, clarity, holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, all holidays are welcome here. I specifically celebrate Christmas. So that's what I'll be referring to when I talk about my traditions and my festivities and
celebrate
whatnot.
Very atheist Christmas, y'all. Like it's
Capitalistic Christmas.
capitalistic Christmas. There's so many of the traditions that I obviously love, and I love them as my family traditions. And they totally can be celebrated even when you're not religious. And also the word Christmas doesn't hit me in a weird way. I know it does some people, but it's never been one of those words that I've been like, ew, I can't talk. I can't say the word Christmas. Now I am careful with other people though. So like, if I don't know, I'll probably gonna say happy holidays.
Or have a good holiday. That's like, I feel like that triggers less of the boomers because like, I don't know, it's like you're gentle parenting them. Have a good holiday, you know, like because happy holidays triggers them. So you gotta sneak it in there.
You can't win either way, basically. You just can't.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's get started. Favorite holiday traditions. So Wells, what was one of the things that you had?
It's because it's the one that's the line under my name this today too. But my house was always an unwrapped Santa gift house. So which I know my parents, I think they were like, well, Santa's not going to be able to wrap things, blah, blah, blah. And I know it was probably a lazy thing on their part, but it became a really good way to delineate what came from Santa and what didn't or whatever. But I find it really funny. And the tradition aspect of it is that Bonnie still leaves my gifts unwrapped on Christmas morning.
So was it when you were little, was it like Bonnie and your dad would wrap presents that were from them, but then the ones that were from Santa were just like tossed under the that's funny.
They're literally chucked under
really
the tree.
funny.
Yeah.
He's in a rush, man. He's got the whole world to deliver to.
He don't got time to wrap presents.
He's doing a flyby.
So that was, because I know depending on people, a lot of, it's very different. Some houses had wrapped Santa presents and some like mine were just like, have your shit under the tree, kid. Like, but there was something really exciting when you come out and you like,
stuff.
What stuff am I looking at? Like, what am I seeing? Right. Because you're seeing all of the gifts and not, it sounds like I got a lot of gifts, but like toys, toys when you're a kid, there's a lot of easy ways to get cheap toys for kids, but like, it's hard. You're like, what am I focusing on? Like, the only gift from Santa that was ever wrapped for me was my puppy.
Wow. Wait,
This
which one?
is Finny. This
Who?
was way before Jasper.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
was 7th grade when I got her. But it was a box, and there was a hole. It was a big hole in the top, like
Yeah.
breathable. And they had literally just put her in the box before I came out of my room, But
Oh.
it had a sign on it that said "Open me first," and
Yeah.
there was just this like
Oh my
crying out of the
gosh.
box. It was so cute. But that was the
It's so
the
cute.
only Santa gift that was ever wrapped.
Santa had to pull out the stops for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one
So
of
that's my
my
first one.
favorite holiday traditions is going to Longwood Gardens when
Mhm.
they do their Christmas show. This is something that I do with Adam. We've gone for 2 years now. We took a break last year, I think. But it's Longwood Gardens is a greenhouse slash like garden area in Pennsylvania. It is sprawling tons of grounds, and their Christmas display is insane to me. It is like 20-foot tall Christmas trees. Like I'm putting some picture. I'm not putting them, but Wells
Are
put some
they
pictures
different
up.
themes? Like, it
Oh
looks like
yeah.
the blue
And
area?
every
Yeah.
year is different too. Every year is different. Sometimes I think last year they did like a retro Christmas. This year was like very blue and icy. Um, so they have massive greenhouses where these displays are built, and then they have just like I don't know how many acres of ground outside where they have Christmas trees.
I don't
There
know
was
why I
another
missed the
one.
picture of you and Adam.
Yeah, I put that in there for scale so, like, people can see how tall like, these trees are humongous.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, if you're ever in Pennsylvania around Christmas time, I highly recommend it. I do wanna go, like, another time of year too because they have lots of fountains outside and, like, lily ponds and shit that I've never seen in the summertime, which I bet are quite beautiful. Um,
Mm.
but there was this one I gotta tell you this story. There was this one tree, and I think I sent you the picture. It was a phoenix tree. The whole theme of it was, like,
Oh,
a
yeah,
phoenix
yeah.
at the top, and, like, they had little jars for ornaments of, like, flickering lights that looked like fire. That was the whole theme. It was the phoenix tree, and, like, me and Adam are walking down the path because this is outside, like, you're walking down a path and stuff, and a woman I just overheard this. I didn't even see these people, but a woman was like, "Oh, look, it's a phoenix tree." And a guy was like, "Yeah, kind of." And I just wanted to be like, "No, that's exactly what it fucking is. It's a phoenix tree, you asshole. Like, what do you mean kind of?" Like, I don't know, it just pissed me off. But there were so many cool things. There was tree houses, like actual looking cabins like built into the tree that you like walk up into. It's so
Wow.
cool. I highly recommend it. It's such a wonderful experience and it's different every time. I would say because you have to buy tickets in advance, and it's time tickets, so you buy it and it's like, okay, be here by 2:30, and then you can stay as long as you want. But you just have to get here within your assigned time.
Your entry, yeah.
Yeah, so I recommend getting tickets in the afternoon so that you can see stuff during the day and then also at night. Because obviously at night, like that's when you're gonna see like the lights and you're gonna really get the payoff for that. But you can do like all of the indoor greenhouses during the day, and then there's a cafe with like a sit down restaurant where you can sit, get food, eat. They also have little pop up tents where they sell like hot chocolate and snacks and stuff. It's so cool. Uh, One of my favorite holiday traditions that I'm gonna try and keep doing year after year because it's just a fun little day trip for us, but I highly recommend it.
Love it.
Yeah.
We have similarly, Biltmore does a really, really cool Christmas, whole thing,
Yeah.
which
They
is
did.
another one of those. It's like timed entry and everything like
Yeah.
that. I don't know what happened to those other pictures. Y'all, I was frantically putting together a PDF, which is
Yeah.
why we were late starting. But I don't
There's
know
like
what
a light tunnel that you walk through too that's like if you're tripping, like I bet that's wild because it changes. Like sometimes it's like candy cane colors and then it turns to rainbow and then red and gold and it's so cool. There's so many like things to look at and see. Pictures don't do it justice. I try, but yeah, that's one of my favorite holiday things to do. It's really
love
cool.
it. Do we want to talk about trees now? Now that we're
Yeah,
talking about
let's
trees?
we all have submitted our trees to look at, and let's see. I want to see if you guys already know. No spoilers, but guess in the comments whose tree is whose.
We have 3. They're all different.
Yeah,
They're all slightly different. I think it's obvious,
I
but
do
maybe
too.
that's just. I think it's pretty obvious whose is whose. But yeah, I love that we all have slightly different trees.
Yeah, I think they all look great.
Yeah. Speaking of trees, if while we give people a moment to think, I am going to flip away for a second, y'all, because one of my, I guess you call it a tradition, but I really love like funky ornaments on my
Mhm.
tree. And I was showing these to Sarah earlier. Casually Sandra got it.
Oh
All
yeah,
right. Casually Sandra, you are correct. Anyone
Yeah.
out there listening, again, we'll try to put these pictures up on Instagram so you can go there and see what we were talking about. But yes, Sandra, you are correct. Left Sarah, middle Christina, right Wells. And I hope it's
got it.
not. I hope it's not just because you can kind of look at surroundings and maybe know what our housing looks like.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think it's very clear. It feels. I think all of our trees feel like us, like all
yeah.
of them. And I love that. But yeah, I was gonna share some ornaments, some of my favorite ornaments on my tree this year.
Right.
On
Explain.
the left, we have a buffalo and an ambulance. And if you've been listening to, I don't know if I told the buffalo attack story on a podcast, but I did run a buffalo attack call when I was working EMS. Everything turned out okay for that guy, thankfully. But it was just a really funny. It's eclipsed only by my ambulance being stolen on that other call.
Yeah, we've heard
that's
that
the-
one.
That's the only thing that trumps this buffalo attack. But that year after that happened, my mom gave me an early Christmas present, and it was these 2 ornaments. It was an ambulance and a buffalo. In the middle, we have Bernie Sanders from the inauguration with his mittens on, sitting there
Yeah.
looking disapproving of everything. It's like,
Tied
I
up
gotta
in
go
Christmas
file
lights.
this paperwork. Why am I here? And he's tied up in Christmas lights. And this year, Bonnie gave me a cruise ship because we went on our Alaska cruise this year. But yeah, I love the old world ornaments or whatever they're called. You can get there's
Yeah.
so many different ones. Scott says, "Wait, are there buffalo there?" No, there is a buffalo farm in the northern part of Greenville County, and this buffalo specifically was taken to be processed at a meat processing place, and it decided that if it was
He
going
wanted
out,
to live.
he's gonna take somebody with him. So he yeeted a man into the air. It was hysterical, like the
Mad
whole from
respect.
beginning to end. We don't have time to talk about that whole call, but maybe someday I will. I'll do the whole crazy EMS stories or whatever. But yeah, I ran a buffalo attack call, and then like I bought my partner and I that ran that call. I bought us little buffalo. They look like Girl Scout badges or something, like.
Oh yeah.
But it's just a buffalo because we had these jackets that had this Velcro part that you could put things on. So I bought them for us both, and then it was on my jacket from that point on till my last day in EMS. So yeah,
I have
so those are my ornaments.
I gotta ask, is your tree looks quite realistic. Is that a real tree?
It is a real tree. Yes,
Do you do a real tree every year?
we do. We have some
Yeah.
smaller fake trees. Like we have one that sometimes we put up in like the kitchen area or whatever if we feel like it.
Yeah.
Those are all fake, but our main tree is always a real tree.
Yeah. Mine's a phony. It's a fake.
So
Santa
when I
Claus.
moved into an apartment after I came back from Korea with my boyfriend at the time, we bought a real tree.
Mhm.
And then the apartment complex was like, you're not allowed to have a real tree because it's a fire hazard.
Yeah, I can see
But
that.
then they were like, burn burn a tree scented candle, and it's like, is that not also a worse fire hazard? Like,
Yeah.
what that doesn't that makes like you've got some weird rules that don't apply, like logic does not apply
I
basically.
get the fire hazard part, but I also would say, like, from a bug perspective, like, if you get a tree that's, like, infested with some weird bugs, I've seen some pictures of, like, I get that part too. You
Oh,
never
I
know.
mean, I've never had weird bugs come crawling out my Christmas tree. That's
I forget what it was, but, like, I think there was, like, crickets or grasshoppers or something, like, somebody woke up one morning and just, like, there was bugs everywhere 'cause,
yeah,
something
that's
hatched in their tree, so
well, I
I
could
get that.
see if you go cut your own tree down, that might be more
That's true,
dangerous.
yeah,
But if you're buying from, like, a place that has they've already been cut, you're
yeah,
probably less likely for that to happen.
that's
Um,
true, but, yeah, those are our
yeah.
trees.
Uh, I have a tradition that apparently Christina also has. So I was gonna get in on her list, but she has on here jammies on Christmas Eve. Uh, and I don't know if that means just putting on, like, matching
Like,
jammies on Christmas
Christmas
Eve.
pajamas, yeah.
Oh, because Bonnie and I give each other pajamas every Christmas Eve, and then we immediately, like, go put those pajamas on, like,
Yeah,
that we give each other new pajamas on Christmas Eve every year. So,
nice.
Christina, I wish I'd had some time to ask you for clarification on jammies on Christmas Eve. Um, but yeah, either
That
way,
sounds yeah.
it's that cozy. I think I like Christmas Eve, like, at night, probably more than
That's in my hot takes,
Christmas. Really?
100%.
Is it?
Yes. I'll
Nice.
explain later, but yeah,
We'll hold on that then. Um, yeah, it just seems to be a jammies thing because it's all cozy. It's nice and cozy.
yeah. What's another one of yours?
I have hold on, let me flip back to this note. Oh, in my house, our dogs get their own stockings.
Oh, cute. I love that for them.
So we have our 4 stockings, my mom, me, and Jasper and Boo. And we I used to go all out on things for them, and then I was like, they're more interested in, like, the tissue paper I'm pulling out of my packages. So
Yeah,
now we just do, like, a treat or a couple of treats, and, like, I try to get them new collars every year or whatever, but
yeah,
yeah, the pets get the stockings in my house.
yeah. Another one of mine that I like to do but can't always do it is doing Hershey Park Candy Lane. So Hershey Park is a theme park.
Mhm.
Um, if you're familiar with the chocolate, there's a town it was named after. It's actually like the only like successful company town that's like still in existence. Um, but like just like Hershey chocolate, you buy like Reese's and Hershey's bars. There's a theme park in the town of Hershey, Pennsylvania, um, and they do Christmas Candy Lane. They also do Hershey Park in the dark for Halloween, but Christmas Candy Lane is so fun. They have like tons of light displays. You ride all the rides. So that's another like really fun holiday day
Nice.
trip that you can do.
I'm realizing that most of my traditions involve me not going fucking anywhere,
Yeah,
which is
those
it's
are
just
my
interesting as you're talking about it because I guess it was just always like my favorite things were always, oh, we get to be cozied up and be
yeah.
here. Because we'd have to eventually go down to Georgia to see the rest of the family and everything. And that was just such
Mhm.
a process, you know,
Yeah,
that like, my most fond things are just like bundling up and being lazy and eating a lot of food, you know?
true. Yeah, and those honestly, like, those 2 things that I mentioned are the only, like, things I can think of that require going places other than, like, shopping and stuff, but, like, Longwood Gardens and Hershey Park, and I didn't even get to do Hershey Park this year, but
No.
it's on my list, but it's still super fun, like, they have Chocolate World, which is, like, part of Hershey Park, but that's, like, um it's a whole different experience, like, it's more of, like, kind of like a little bit of a museum where you can learn about Hershey the
Mhm.
chocolate company and whatnot. But then like they have a humongous candy store where you can buy there's so many fucking candies. You can buy so many and you get everything. You can get like the king size version of everything too. When we went there last time, we went there over the summer. We were shopping for Adam's parents because his dad is like a candy sweets person. For his birthday, we
Oh,
got him a bulk box of Twinkies, and he demolished those in like a weekend.
he
And
was
of
so
course, the
happy.
man, yeah, of course, the man is just like the slimmest looking guy that you've ever seen. Like, I don't know where he puts it all, but like we were getting like candy for him and stuff. They have like really cool plushies of like a Reese's pillow or like a Jolly Rancher shaped pillow, like really cool stuff. And then they have other stuff where it's like you can make your own candy. I've never done that before, but there's so many cool things to do. Whether it's Christmas time or not, highly recommend Hershey Park.
Nice. Nice.
But that's all I really had. Like obviously movies and certain other things that we're gonna get into later on anyway. So I didn't really put that in the tradition part.
I'm gonna hold one of Christina's traditions for what I'm sure is gonna be a hot take of yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna hold on that one. Let me go through here though. Oh, Christina, which is lovely. When she says, when family is around, I play Christmas carols on piano for the family while mom is setting the table for dinner. That's so
Oh,
cute. It's so wholesome. It's kind of like the friends Christmas party that I went to last night, and we were all sitting around playing instruments and singing carols.
yeah. I saw.
Something about, yeah, I sent you like a 16-second clip of it, but
Yeah.
um there's something about just having like people play music and be able to sing and everything as a group is really, really, really sweet. So and yeah, if you didn't, you ought to know out there, Christina is a phenomenal piano player. So now you do.
Classically trained.
Yeah.
Something that Adam's parents, I kind of thought was silly at first, but I totally get the appeal now. They will kind of like use their TV as the Yule log or whatever. Like they'll put
Mhm.
on a Yule log, but they'll also just go to YouTube and just search like cozy Christmas blah 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 and like pull up some live stream or like some 3-hour video of like a cozy Christmas scene with like music playing in the background and like that's what
Yeah.
they put on the TV. So like I've been doing that too. They'll do it around Halloween, like spooky
Yeah.
background
I do
music or
that at
whatever.
night to sleep sometimes. Not
Yeah.
for not but I usually look up like soothing sci-fi spaceship because it's that like that
Oh
low
yeah.
a low like
White
engine
noise.
sound. Yeah, it's like white noise or pink noise or whatever noise you call that like low hum
Yeah.
sound. Um, and it's great.
I used to
Scott
be a
says
person.
Scott says my brothers would use a 5-hour loop of Darth Vader on a funeral pyre.
Jesus Christ.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Oh, sorry. Got too many cat
Um,
it's coming through. Oh,
but
that is no, I do the Witcher fireplace on TV since I don't have a real fireplace.
yeah. Or just even like putting the Yule log on is like ambient
Mhm.
background visuals and sound effects. But yeah, I used to be a person that fell asleep to the TV, and I am now with someone who unfortunately needs it to be like darker than anything. So I have to compromise and be like, okay, I'll put my headphones on and like put a YouTube video on my phone
Aw.
and listen to something because to
Yeah, I usually put something familiar on to go to sleep. I can't put
yes,
new things on to go to sleep.
correct.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be something super familiar.
Yeah. Adam is so averse to the light that we have a fan with a, like we put
Telling
our
me
fan
this.
on at
The
nighttime.
light on.
There's a light because the number of like the power where it's on level 2, it was so bright for him, he had to cover it because it bothered him so much. So
That's next level.
the
That is
sacrifices we
next
make.
level.
Yeah. So are we ready to move on to our next category of favorite holiday food?
Yeah, yeah. I've got so yeah, because I covered everything but the one of Christina's which we will hold for now. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So food. What you got?
I I fuck with some green bean casserole, man. I love green bean casserole. It's so fucking good. My aunt, she better look at. I'm coming. Like she better be prepared because green
I'm
bean
coming for
casserole
your casserole.
one of my favorite sides. Like you have your traditional stuff like mashed potatoes. Like that's a staple, honestly, and you can't really fuck that up or like do anything too crazy with it. Um, But yeah, green bean casserole is one of my favorites. And I'm like a sides person because I don't eat meat. So like I'm not there for like the ham or the turkey. I'm like, give me green bean casserole and mashed potatoes and a nice King's Hawaiian roll and some like broccoli with cheese. Like I'm all about the sides because that's all I really eat. Pie. I love a good like apple lattice pie or like a Dutch apple pie. And where I live, we're very close to like the Pennsylvania Dutch, and they know how to fucking bake, man. Oh my god. The Amish people, if you're ever in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, find an Amish bakery because they'll make pumpkin rolls that are like humongous. They're like a brick, man. They're so dense. No store-bought can ever compete.
We
So
don't
like
do apple pies for like holidays down here.
really?
Yeah.
I know that's like a really northeastern type of
I
thing
say
for
we.
sure.
I mean in my family.
In your
And I'm willing to
household.
bet Christina's is similar because it feels like I mean, like there are a lot of similar traditions between our two. But
Yeah.
no, for us it's like pecan
Pecan.
pie, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie is fine.
Yeah.
But we don't, and random chocolate things, but not usually fruit pies for Christmas.
Yeah.
We
No.
love a fruit pie or a
Yeah.
cobbler, which is more frequent down here.
A peach cobbler.
A cobbler, blackberry
Yeah.
cobbler.
Yeah.
Not just one cobbler, but yeah, we don't. It's just not really a Christmas thing for us.
That's interesting because they're like, we get so for Thanksgiving, Adam got a pecan pie, and I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't like nuts. I'm not a big fan.
It's kind of a requirement for that pie. Like, you can't.
Yeah,
If you're
it's
not
not my
nut
thing.
person, I used to not like it. I used to not eat. I used to hate it when I was a kid. I was like, no, I don't want pecan pie.
It
But
might.
I'm good at making them, so I always make them for people. And then one day, like a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, I'll try it again. I haven't tried one in a while, whatever. And I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. I like this.
It's good. Yeah.
Is this good? And it's literally just sugar and corn syrup.
Is it like molasses?
It's not molasses. It's corn syrup,
Okay.
sugar, butter, vanilla. And you melt all that. You melt the sugar into the corn syrup, and like you got to cool it a little bit because then you got to crack egg into it, and you don't want the egg to cook until to get it mixed in. So you got to be careful with it. And then you put all that in the pie, and then you put just the pecans all over it, and they sink into it and everything. But yeah. And I was like, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
Yeah. So like I like specifically like a Dutch apple with like I forget like what it's called. It's like an apple crumble or like it's got like cinnamon in it and stuff. I'll have to like take a picture, but like it's not just a straight up apple pie. Like it's got like a nice
it's something
crust on
special
top.
to it.
Yeah. Obviously like pumpkin pie. I'm here for like all the pumpkin flavored stuff. Pumpkin pie, pumpkin roll. I'm bringing like a pumpkin crumb cake for my thing tomorrow with my family. So like really good. Just the baked goods of this time of year are always my thing. And then I did put deviled eggs because that's appropriate for any holiday.
It's appropriate for any day, y'all out there.
True. Yeah.
You do not have to wait for a special occasion to make deviled eggs. I made them randomly a month ago, like not even Thanksgiving, just because I felt like it. So y'all, it's time for the deviled egg revolution. You can have them anytime you want.
I sent you, I know we were talking earlier, but I sent you that TikTok I found of a deviled egg hot dog. And that, God. I want to try that. That looked really good. I'll have to make it in my own.
The last deviled eggs I made were more dill deviled eggs. There were like dill pickle in them and everything.
I do love dill though.
So good. They were so good.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
I have a lot of savory things that I love around Christmas. My mom makes this big thing called nuts and bolts, which everybody has their variation on, but it's like nuts, pretzels, cereals like Chex Mix and all that.
Okay, so it's like a trail mix.
It's like well, it's not sweet. There's nothing sweet in it. It's like a couple of different Chex cereals, pretzels, peanuts. Sometimes she puts cashews in it too, whatever. Pecans, you put anything you want in it, but you mix it all up and you spread it out on baking sheets, and you literally pour like the most obscene amount of this butter mixture, which is literally butter, Worcestershire sauce, and garlic powder.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And garlic powder over it. And then it's kind of tedious because you cook it at a low temperature, and you have to stir it every 15 minutes to keep it like get it coating
From
on everything.
solidify, yeah.
But we've always made like huge batches of it because you can take it to parties. You have it to munch on anytime you want around the holidays. So it's just kind of always there. But it's so rich. It's like
Yeah.
it's like how much butter? More butter. Just if you think you have enough butter, you don't. So that's a huge thing in my house is that we also opt for usually a giant breakfast on Christmas morning. We don't
Yeah.
really do Christmas like lunch or dinner, and I think that comes from the fact that we would usually get up and do breakfast, and then we would like have to drive 2 hours down the road to Georgia for the family. So to me, it was always about the giant Christmas morning breakfast that I'm sorry, Scott. Scott got me. Scott got me with this comment. Well, it's just pronounced Worcestershire sauce with no effort.
Yeah.
Some people would say that I'm not pronouncing it correctly. That was a
No.
whole era in time on TikTok.
I've always had Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. Don't ask me to spell it because then they'll get on to me about that too. Anyway, so we always do the big breakfast. Like my mom would do like these big cinnamon, like it's cream cheese braids. And then like, but also eggs and also bacon and like also all this stuff, including what is one of Christina's on her list. I'm connecting these things, y'all. Look at me go. Which is where is it? Potato casserole on Christmas morning. I will fight to the death on this. And Christina, I am with you. We always called it hash brown potato casserole. And it's from the gods.
Please educate
It's
my
like,
Yankee ass on that.
I don't know what kind of potato Christina's family uses, so don't come at me. I'm not speaking for her, but I have a feeling it's similar, which is literally like the frozen shredded potato, like hash browns, but as a casserole. So it's in a casserole dish with your egg and your everything and cheese.
Yeah.
And baked in the oven.
I've had something similar at Cracker Barrel, but I'm sure that's a poor substitution.
Yeah, it's similar. It's based on that, but it's not as good as a homemade one.
Yeah.
And we would sometimes also make grits casserole. Y'all. Take grits to the next level and have grits casserole sometime, which is literally just cooking grits and then putting more egg into it and more cheese into it and baking it in the oven.
Interesting.
It's so good.
Never had grits before. I've never had grits.
Well, don't have it up there. My northern friends made the mistake of being like, I want to try it because you've talked about it. And then they eat it at some northern diner or someplace they find it.
Yeah.
And that's not how we eat it. So when you come down here, we'll like get you proper grits.
Okay. All right.
Or Bonnie will feed you grits anyway, because she always does.
Excellent.
But yeah, potato casserole. Christina, I am with you all the way on the potato casserole. But it's like an obscene amount of breakfast for like, there used to be 3 of us when my great aunt was still around. She would always come to my house for Christmas. It would be the 3 of us in the morning. But like, we can't eat all that fucking food. Like, but we make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Leftovers though, some of that stuff you can have. But I can't eat a lot of breakfast in the morning anyway. That's a lot of food. And more like a brunch, I think. I'd have to hold out.
Yeah, you can sit and wait. Well, we would usually do Santa first thing in the morning, like get your coffee, do Santa, do some president things, then hit the kitchen with the breakfast,
Yeah.
And the last thing I had on my food list was spiced wine, mulled wine, which is what I'm drinking right now in this carafe that's keeping it nice and warm. Or Glühwein, as they call it in Germany.
So it's warm.
It's warm, yeah. It's hot spiced wine. It's so
interesting.
Good.
So like a spiced cider type of thing, but wine?
Oh, wine, yeah. But it's very like a lot of the similar spice notes for both of them. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Sweet. So the next category that we have is favorite holiday movies.
This is what you're probably
Um,
all waiting for. It took us 54 minutes to get here, y'all, but we're here.
yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
sorry. So Wells, what are some of your favorite holiday movies?
I'll hit you my whole list. Like, it's not
Yeah, just go down. Yeah.
long. Number 1, Die Hard, and no, it is not up for debate.
You didn't
Period.
do your Alan Rickman falling from the tower
He's still
countdown this
falling. I
year.
just didn't do it on
Oh,
TikTok, but I
okay.
have him up. It's
Okay.
like one date. It's like almost at the bottom now, y'all. He's almost there.
Yeah.
Number 2, Scrooged.
Okay, Bill Murray, right?
Bill Murray, Scrooged. These are movies that I will without fail watch every single year.
Yeah.
And I don't watch all the Christmas movies every single year. These I watch every single year. Number 3 is a twofer, Home Alone 1 and 2.
That's on my list too. Yeah.
And number 4, because y'all, I am sometimes a romantic and sentimental, Love Actually.
Oh, what a surprise.
I know y'all weren't expecting it, I'm sure. But those are my 4 movies. I have some TV episodes too. I do have some recent shout outs, one being that Violent Night. Loved it. Was great.
Okay.
One is the Kristen Stewart Happiest Season.
Oh, yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. And I really want to watch the new one this year. It's barely advertised as a Christmas movie. It feels very Die Hard like, called Carry On Netflix.
Okay.
Jason Bateman.
Jason
Yeah.
Statham?
No,
The
Bateman.
action guy?
Arrested
Oh.
Development.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Jason Bateman is like the bad guy in it, apparently.
Oh,
So
I like him too.
I want to watch that one. I'm going to see it for Christmas. Anyway, so those are my movies. I should probably, except for Love Actually, I'm sure none of them come as a surprise to anyone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for
What about you?
mine, I'll go down my list. Home Alone 1 and 2 was on it.
Boom.
I love the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That is my favorite Grinch I will watch. Obviously, I like the cartoon, the old cartoon too. But I don't beyond that, like I did watch the new cartoon Grinch with like Benedict Cumberbatch. That was a little
Oh, I never
I don't
even
know.
watched that one.
It's nothing special. He's like sad emo Grinch. Jim Carrey is like evil chaos Grinch.
I hate Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Why?
Don't know why. Watched it last year. Hadn't watched it in a really long time. Bonnie and I were like, let's watch The Grinch. We watched it. And I was like, why do I hate this so much? I don't know.
Yeah.
I tend to get weird because it's one of my arguments. It's not the strongest argument about why I hate the Polar Express, but it's one of the arguments I have about why I hate the Polar Express. The movie, that like Uncanny Valley nonsense movie.
That was when like the animation.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like but I grew up reading How the Grinch Stole Christmas, like the book. Just like I grew up reading, it's a picture book, but The Polar Express.
Yeah.
And everything that gets added in both of those movies are very lock them into a certain time. Like it dates them very strongly, I feel like. Whereas the originals don't feel like the books, the original, like the shorter stories or whatever.
Timeless.
They feel more timeless. And then because they're making them kids' movies, it makes sense why they do this.
Yeah.
But like The Grinch to me feels very in its time. And so does that, like with the whole dance number and the added music and everything in the Polar Express, same thing. So I don't know if that's what it is. That might be what it is. I'm not sure.
Is it just a feeling, or are there very certain specific things that date it? Like, because I think like when I watch old shows of like, oh, the hair is outdated, oh, the wardrobe is outdated, like it feels very dated. Or is it something just a vibe?
It's even more like it's the way they make the characters talk even. It's the language. It's everything about it, which is really hard to avoid. I totally understand this. But like to me, there was so much magic like as a kid in those books and them
Mhm.
just feeling like more ethereal or magical or something because of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
no,
will
it's
say
not just the
though
hair. Hair doesn't bother like clothing and hair doesn't necessarily bother me or that's, Stargate. We deal with
yeah,
that in Stargate all the time. That doesn't bother me.
yeah.
Um, but yeah.
I think also, like, we are how many years apart in age? So, like, that movie came out in the 2000s. Uh, I was 8 or 9 years old when it came
I'm
out.
gonna drink
So
more now.
like, that is something that is more part of my childhood, and I think that nostalgia factor really plays into it. But
We're
also,
like
can
10
we
years
just
apart, I think.
yeah. I was born in
Yeah,
'91.
82.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much, like, 9
Mhm.
years apart. I will say, though, Christine Baranski ate all those bitches up in
Mm,
Whoville.
mhm.
She Martha May Whovier, girl, she was so and of course, I was doing the IMDb thing where it's like, how old? Because like, I know she's, like, older now. I was watching one of her shows called The Good Fight. It's a lawyer show, and I just love her
Mhm.
so much. She was 48 like, 46 or 48 when she was in The Grinch, and I was like, "That is shocking to me," because they could have easily got some, like, fucking 21-year-old to play, like, the hot Who lady, but no, they got
Mhm.
fucking Christine Baranski, and
Yep.
Jim Carrey was also younger than her, which is not something you see very often too, and I was like, "That's because she's just a queen," like, love that.
This is all
Um,
true. I do think you have a point with, like, you were a kid watching The Grinch,
yeah,
and I was an adult watching The Grinch, and I
yeah.
think that does also make a difference too.
Well, that, I think, factors into one of the movies that we hate, for me personally.
Yes.
Anyway, back to my list, A Muppet's Christmas Carol, in my heart,
That
forever
was
and
great.
ever. As John D would say, Michael Caine stepped his whole pussy up for that role. He did not play any games. He played that so serious. It's on record. It's like one of the well-known facts about him. He was like, "Listen, I'm not gonna be all cute and muppety. I'm gonna play this like I'm working for the Shakespeare Company, bitch."
Yeah.
And he did. And it is a wonderful adaptation.
I
I
do
love it so
love
much.
I love A Christmas Carol in general. Obviously, Scrooged is my version of that in my
Mhm.
list. But I love that story. It's so much fun, and, most of the iterations I've seen, I've really liked as well. But
Yeah.
in 7th grade, I got to be Jacob Marley in our play,
Really?
which was super exciting. I got to wear
Oh,
chains.
I
It
was gonna
was
say
great.
rattling the chains.
It was
Yeah.
rattling those chains. It was so great.
I see memes about it every year too, where it's like, Christmas time is truly about scaring billionaires into being more generous or whatever. Like, I'll have to find it, but it cracks me up every time I see it.
It's so
Um,
good.
and the last one I have is one that I totally forgot about, but I actually just watched it today. It is The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah.
Oh,
Um, it is a delightful, joyful movie.
is
I
that the
wouldn't
one
say
she thinks she's dying?
yes.
Yeah.
It's not Christmas centric, like, it just happens to be Christmas time, but it's like Die Hard, like, I classify it as a Christmas movie. It takes place over, like, Christmas and New Year. Just a wonderful little movie. I love Queen Latifah, um, and it's just, like, I love her friendship with Chef Didier in it, like, the
Mhm.
Gerard Depardieu's character, um, but I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime, you should totally watch it.
Yeah.
But
It's good.
those are my, holiday movies.
Christina has 2 that are listed, that we have
Mhm.
not said. One is Claus, Klaus,
Klaus?
Claus, 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 right? Like, just the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's the animated, from 2019, and the
Okay.
animation is really beautiful looking. Um, and then, Christmas Chronicles
Oh,
was
yeah, that's with
not on my
the
list.
who's God, I always forget. I always get them mixed up. I know one of them's dead. It's, Kurt Russell, right?
It is Kurt
Kurt
Russell,
Russell's in that
yes.
one. I always
Holding
don't
on.
I don't know why I get him and Patrick Swayze confused all the goddamn
I
time.
have watched, I think, the first Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah.
You can tell which of the 3 of us has children and therefore is, like, watching more recent Christmas kids
Yeah.
movies. Um, And then Bonnie over here just watching literally anything she can fucking find that's a Christmas movie, any Hallmark thing. And they are not well made, y'all. They are not well made. And she knows. And she also can tell you exactly what's going to happen in every single one of them.
It's like a game at that point, though.
That is what I mean. It's the familiarity. She's realizing she found one that she really liked the other day, and she watched it 3 times in a day.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, you're just like the rest of us, buddy. Like, hyperfixate. Now you like you're a little neurospicy, Bonnie. You didn't realize it, but you are.
Yeah.
But yeah. And her hot take is I'm gonna leave that one as well for the hot take section.
Yeah. Next category we have is favorite holiday songs, most and least favorite. Do you want to run through your lists real quick?
I will.
Let's hear it.
I had Christmas episodes to mention.
Oh, for the movies?
Yeah. We can do it after the songs if we want. We'll do the songs now. But I do have some TV episodes that I think are like top notch.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure one of them is yours as well. So this is where everybody's gonna go, Wells. You're really fucking pretentious. In my list of favorite songs. So the least pretentious on my list is Fairy Tale of New York, the Pogues.
I don't think I know that one.
It is played all the time in the UK, but we don't hear it over here that often. But it's a duet. It's that the boys of the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bands. Oh, you gotta listen. It's
never
great.
Heard of it.
Christmas Eve, babe, and the drunk tank. It's so good. It's this whole story. It's wonderful. And then all of my other shit is really pretentious. I like the old Christmas hymns, like O Come, Emmanuel, In the Bleak Midwinter, Lo, How a Rose Are Blooming. They all have that same, like, you feel like you're walking at night in the snow sort of vibe.
It came upon the midnight clear.
That one, not so much. There's something different. Those 3 specifically hit me in a different way than some of the other ones.
Okay.
In the Lo, How a Rose Are Blooming, especially. Oh my God. Like, so good. If you've never heard it. And then it just gets worse, y'all, because there is a whole piece with multiple songs in it called Ceremony of Carols by Benjamin Britten. It's a choral piece. I have sung it multiple times in groups, and it's beautiful. It's a women's choir only.
Okay.
And like, it's a harp and women's voices, and it's so beautiful. And it's just, I think I just get that nostalgia for having been in those choirs and singing them around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So those are my favorites. Again, we just got to put all these lists together, and we'll post them on things so people can check things out. And then my least favorite is also Christina's least favorite, which is Baby It's Cold Outside.
Oh.
Also not a fan of Last Christmas.
By Wham.
And also the 12 Days of Christmas.
But wait, the one with John Denver and the Muppets, though.
I can't. I'm so sorry.
Mrs. Piggy rocked that 5 golden rings. That's the only version I'll listen to, honestly.
Yep.
Too
Fair.
much.
It's too repetitive. It's like, I don't listen to jam bands for a reason. Why am I having to listen to the 12 Days of Christmas?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
that's fine.
I was thinking like more contemporary, newer Christmas songs that have come out. And one that I really like is Kelly Clarkson's Underneath the Tree. That's a bop. Okay. I do like that one. I also like Michael Bublé's version of Baby Please Come Home. Like, I don't know. I just like hearing that in the store. And the Eagles version of Please Come Home for Christmas. Okay. I like Don Henley's voice. He's got a really nice voice.
This is fair.
So those are like more contemporary ones, because you have the classics. You have like, Jingle Bell Rock or whatever, and it's like those are fun and I like hearing them in movies. But like what I think about like what I hear on the radio now and more contemporary, newer, because I think it's hard to like really make a new Christmas hit. It really is. Mariah Carey, though, man, she's laughing to the bank every goddamn December.
Every single year.
She'll never have to work again. That I'm not really sick of that song. I don't hate that song.
We sang it at our friend's party last night.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones we sang very badly.
It holds up.
But
it holds up.
But we had fun doing it. So no, I tend to like even like Jingle Bell Rock and stuff. We would listen to it on the radio. But I was very involved. Bonnie was the music director at church when I was a kid, right? And she did a lot of really cool things around Christmas time. Like every other year, we would do this thing called the Boar's Head service, and we would all dress up in medieval shit, and we would literally go get a pig's head from the slaughterhouse because you would bring all the offerings to the king and queen and everything. And so we had people who were dressed as the king and queen. I got to be a beef eater one year with like the guard thing, and I was so happy that they didn't put me in a fucking dress. Like I was so happy. But like people were bringing the Yule log down, and they literally got this pig's head, and it was like on a platter presented to the king and queen, and like all that. So it was all that really traditional. And when I say traditional, I'm like way the fuck
hymnal, like Victorian,
like, hymnal Victorian, like way even like medieval even stuff that I was
Gregorian chant.
It's like close,
that
I just like that's what defined like that feeling for me. So so I'm like the way other side of Jingle Bell Rock. You're on this side of Jingle Bell Rock. Like we're like it's really funny that neither of us really like, because I agree, like if it's in a movie, it's in Home Alone or something, it's fun to listen to there, and that's great, and then I don't need to hear it any other time.
Even like the soundtracks for Home, that's John Williams music. And even those soundtracks are distinctly Christmas music to me. Like that is Christmassy. That reminds me of Christmas, hearing those soundtracks.
Die Hard is all Beethoven variations on Beethoven's Ode to Joy with sleigh bells in it. Like the whole thing. So
I'll have to watch Die Hard. Some of the ones that I hate, Santa Baby. Especially when it's like in the like baby voice. I'll let Eartha Kitt slide, like she gets a pass.
Eartha Kitt always gets a pass.
Correct. Like, but like any other rendition where it's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Christmas Shoes. Fuck that stupid ass song.
I had to look that song up. I don't know that I had
it.
Really realized what that song was until you shared that video or something the other day. It's somehow
get back home to your mom. Fuck them shoes and get back home to your goddamn mom. If she's on death's door that bad, leave the shoes.
Leave the shoes. Drop the shoes, buddy. Drop them.
Also, Paul McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time.
Shoot me in the brain. Yeah. What's the other one though? So This Is Christmas. That one.
Oh yeah. No, I'm good. Like simply having.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah. Remove it from the airwaves. But yeah, those are the ones that
out there really like these songs. It's totally okay that you do, by the way.
Yeah, correct. It's all deeply personal.
It's all okay. Everybody has. That's why there are so many kinds of Christmas songs.
And if you hate our choices too, let us know. Give us that haterade right back.
Good luck hating on Benjamin Britten's Ceremony of Carols. That's a deep cut, y'all. Like,
the strings. I don't even know if it has.
I don't like it's harps. It's all harp.
Oh,
yeah, it's lovely.
All right.
Really fun to sing. So Christina's favorite is Tennessee Christmas by Amy Grant.
That's Vince Gill's wife, correct? I think so. Or maybe ex-wife now. Amy Grant. I think so.
I just remember her from the 90s.
Wah, 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 wah.
The 90s were probably the last time I paid much attention to country music, so
yeah, Toby Keith really ruined it for us. Yeah, she's married to Vince Gill.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's one casualty of 9/11 as well. Country music. We have not recovered.
We have never recovered.
Damn it, Toby Keith.
We will rebuild everything but country music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to cut back really quickly to TV episodes. We'll keep this quick. But I do have 2 suggestions, and one I'm not sure where to find anymore. But my first top TV Christmas episode of all time is The X-Files: How the Ghost Stole Christmas.
Yay!
I love that episode so much. And I'm a massive Lily Tomlin fan.
I was gonna say it's Lily Tomlin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and what's his name? Ed Asner, I think, as well. It's so good. It's so trippy. It's so shippy. It's everything you want out of a more lighthearted X-Files episode.
Yeah.
And it's also like, we forget a lot of the times that Christmas time, and this is like what A Christmas Carol does really well, is some of the best ghost stories and things are Christmas time things. I went to a whole ghost story reading and music performance one year at the library, and it was so cute because, like, wintertime, it's dark all the time. This is where ghost stories are coming from.
Yeah.
That is where, A Christmas Carol, like, that's that tradition.
It's a ghost story.
Been around for a really long time. Yeah. So the X-Files, it was perfect. It hit so well. I have Ted Lasso Christmas episode, Carol of the Bells, is lovely and heartwarming, and also everything you want out of a good Christmas episode. I also mentioned that pretty much any Bob's Burgers Christmas episode is going to slap. So just pick any of them. You can watch all of them. Just watch them back to back every season. Bob's Burgers Christmas episodes. And the last one that I said, I don't know if you can find it anywhere anymore, is from the show Space Above and Beyond, which was Glenn Morgan and James Wong, who were writers on the X-Files. It was one of the shows that they tried to put out with the, there's so many shows came with the X-Files, like back to back. Yeah, all of, they tried so many different ones. Well, Space Above and Beyond was my jam. It was so good. It was very hard military sci-fi, Marines in space sort of deal. But what I loved about it is every episode, oftentimes they would tell a version of a true story that happened in like World War II or World War I, but they would set it in space. But they would tell you, like, they would give you information about, oh, this is like the Battle of Guadalcanal or this or that. And the Christmas episode that they did there is called The River of Stars, and it's based on that during World War I, everybody from both sides of the fighting on Christmas Day laid their guns down, they got out of the trenches, and they celebrated Christmas together.
Oh, yeah.
And so they kind of based that episode and like themes in that episode on that. And it's so good. I was so mad. I remain mad that so many people don't even realize that show existed, because it was so good. It had no business being that good. And then they, like, toward the end of it, you could tell that probably Fox was trying to get them to do shitty things with the storylines.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't hitting the same, and then they canceled it. And they essentially made you think everybody was dead by the end of it, which is also like terrible. But it's such a well done show.
Okay.
Yeah. And that Christmas episode is really good. So if anybody I'll tell you if I can find it, because I would like to watch it again.
Yeah. So it made me think of Christmas episodes. So I have a couple that I thought of as you were speaking and bringing it up. So as far as like childhood shows go, the Rugrats did a plethora of episodes, not only on Christmas, but Hanukkah, because they had Tommy's mom and her parents are Orthodox. Well, no, I think her parents were like Russian Jewish people. So they did like really cool Hanukkah episodes, and then even like Passover episodes too, for like around that time of year. So there's some really good ones. Another one that I like is, forgive me, Family Guy's episode, Road to North Pole. And that's the one with all of the music. Seth MacFarlane and his show tunes crack me up. But that was the one where they go visit Santa and he's like dying, and they do the whole Christmas time is killing us song, where like they're just like being crushed under the weight of capitalism. And it's so good. It's like a two-parter, so it's like a 45-minute episode altogether. But then like Stewie and Brian try to deliver presents, and they're like, we've been in this one house for 45 minutes. No wonder Santa's like So I thought it was just like such great commentary on consumer culture while also
Mhm.
like being funny and lighthearted. And there was another one that I can't think of that I had, but like SpongeBob. You know my SpongeBob, but like
Oh, yeah.
cartoons from when I was a kid doing their Christmas episodes, like their very first Christmas episode. Um, but just stuff like that. But definitely the Rugrats. Like check some of their stuff out with your kids. Like
Yeah.
highly recommend. And then that one I'm sure they've done more Christmas episodes for Family Guy, but that's one of my favorites.
I love
The
it.
Road to the North Pole. But yeah. So then what's next on our, are we at the hot takes now?
We're at the hot takes, and let's hit the hot takes, and then we'll give you some Stargate reward for hanging with us
Sticking around,
this
yeah.
long, sticking around. So we promise some Stargate shit is coming. I promise.
All right. I'm gonna burn through mine.
I've already
And
done one of mine
try to
when you were
not.
talking about the Grinch. So
Yeah. It's just you don't like the Grinch movie.
I don't like the Grinch. And now that we've talked about it, I may understand why a little better.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, first hot take is Christmas Eve is superior to actual Christmas Day. I love Christmas Eve. It's like the anticipation building up to Christmas Day. Christmas Day at like 2 p.m. is a fucking drag.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
that's terrible. It's terrible because all the fun is
Christmas
over.
Eve is so cozy to me.
Yes.
And it's the one of the days of like winter when it's dark so early, and most of the time that really sucks. But on
Mhm.
Christmas Eve it doesn't, because it
No.
just feels super magical, and it's like it's dark. You got your
Mhm.
twinkly lights everywhere. It feels so magical compared to Christmas Day to me as well.
At 2 p.m. specifically.
Especially at 2 p.m. If you start
Colored.
drinking mimosas on Christmas morning, you don't have to worry about 2 p.m.
That's true. That's true. Colored Christmas lights are superior to white lights, but only if they're incandescent. I hate the newer LED colored Christmas lights because they have that horrible blue tint to them. My tree is pre-lit, and I can switch between color and white lights. I have those set to white, and then I add my own color ones because fuck those ugly blue
Because
LED
the
lights.
color ones are really
They're so
blue.
ugly. I feel like I'm in a goddamn GameStop. It's like it feels like an arcade light type of stuff, like that type of vibe.
Yeah.
I
also love these two though. These like ceramic
those are
trees.
so cute. Yeah.
This is an old OG from like probably the 50s or 60s.
I actually have an ornament of one of those. Like it's like a miniature version and that lights up too. It's very heavy,
So
but
cool.
yeah. Elf is not a good movie. I'm
That's
over
one of
Elf.
mine. Yeah. Don't like
The
it.
fact that there are stations that are like 24 hours of Elf and they just play that all fucking day long.
Can't do
Spare
it.
me. Pick a better movie, please. I'm over it.
Do you know that more recent movie with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds in it is better than Elf to me?
I don't even know.
It's
what
kind
that
of
movie is.
what is it called? Hold on. Anybody in the comments got it? You can tell me if you get it before I do. Will Ferrell.
Is that a Christmas movie?
It's a Christmas movie. It is. Oh, come on. Why you got to make so many movies? Spirited. 22. It's another different kind of riff on Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it better than Elf.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Will Ferrell catalog of stuff, because I'm really picky. Some Will Ferrell stuff I love, and some of it he just grates on me during. So
yeah,
it just depends.
And my last one, I am the Lone Ranger in this hot take. But John D, if you're in the comments, he'll support me. I am 100% a fan of the pre-built gingerbread house kits. I'm not gonna bake gingerbread house. I'm not gonna glue that shit together with icing. That's stressful. That is like when you're playing a video game that's timed and like you have to like do the thing before the time runs out. It's stressful to me. It's not fucking fun. And I feel like it looks worse and it looks like shit when I have to build it with the walls and like all the shit's squirting out of the sides and then it doesn't stand up and then it falls down and then it looks like shit. For me,
These pictures
personally.
are courtesy of Christina.
Yeah, Christina's
who
all
makes
about
everything from scratch.
yeah.
And this is showing the whole process, the dough, the cutout of the walls, baking it with the gingerbread men, and then these are the results.
That the roof is so cool, like with the cookie shingles. That's really cool. But
You could do that with a pre-made one too. You just have
Yeah.
to like get some separate materials or whatever.
yeah,
But
fucking won't be me. Not doing that shit. I'm buying that pre-built bitch and I'm gonna have fun like looking up pictures and just having to worry about decorating it and like doing the icing and the candies and what color do I want the door to be and the crown molding over here, like that type of thing.
you know
Without the
why
stress of having to
I'm team handmade more than anything else?
why?
Because I usually the thing that I would make would not even look like a traditional house.
So it
I tend to go with like, can I make a castle? Can I make a
oh yeah.
random let's make a pirate ship? Like that's always what I would do. Like
Yeah,
so, the pre-built one's not gonna work for that, basically.
that's true.
But I'm also like love to engineer shit like that. So it makes sense why I enjoy doing it.
That sounds stressful to me. I just want to have fun and not have to worry about my fucking roof collapsing or
Oh,
whatever.
we got a Christina comment from Scott. Christina says it's a whole vibe.
Yeah,
It's a whole vibe.
it's about the journey, not the whatever that saying is.
Yep.
Not the
It's about the
destination.
process. It's the process. And it's the togetherness as you're making your gingerbread houses. Does this sound Christina like enough? I'm trying really
Mhm.
hard.
I'm saying you can still have a process with a pre-built house. It's just going to be a lot less stressful of a process.
Nice. Yeah, these are beautiful gingerbread houses though. Well done,
Yeah.
Christina and Ryder and family. They're
Yeah.
lovely. Let's see. Hold on, let me get back over here. There we go. Is that your last hot take?
That's my last one.
Cool.
Hit me
I
with
only
your-
have one other because I agree with you with Elf. We've already said. I've already said I don't like the Grinch movie.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of people are gonna. I don't think this is a hot take. This is just something I need to get off my chest because
Let it out.
I'm about to have to do one tomorrow. I hate white elephant gift giving.
Oh yeah. I agree. It's so you just get junk.
Well, and then people can steal shit from you.
Mhm.
I hate it. And if you end up being the first person, like you are not going to leave with the thing that you got. Now,
Yeah.
what I will argue that the one that I'm going to tomorrow is kind of different because no one's allowed to buy anything for it. It has to be something you already had or a handmade something or a baked good or something like that. So it's a little different because nobody's like spending more than somebody else. It's already everything somebody already loved. They already had it in their house and then they're giving it. And I kind of
Yeah.
like that. That's a little better. But I hate white elephant or dirty Santa, whatever you want to call it, whatever you do
Mhm.
call it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I'd rather do like a secret Santa where you are specifically
Yes.
buying for a specific person.
Right. And that's the other thing about white elephant is if you pride yourself on, and I do, on
Mhm.
like being good at figuring out what to give specific people, there's nothing you can do to prepare for that for a white elephant.
Right.
Like nothing is personalized, nothing feels, and then
You
on
just-
top of that, you're just like watching people steal shit from each other, like
Yeah. And
I
that
don't like
just
it.
doesn't make it fun.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So I still have to figure out what I'm giving away tomorrow, but I'll figure it out.
Nice. But yeah. Good hot
Cool.
takes.
Yeah. So we have one final segment for everyone
Yeah.
out there. You're still listening to us. Here's your reward. So I've heard it spoken about on other Stargate podcasts already this year. We all know this, but we know that there was never a Christmas episode of Stargate. So I presented it to let's choose. We don't know what each other chose. We don't know how they're making it this way, but what pre-existing Stargate episode would you turn into a Christmas episode, and how would you do it? That was the question I positioned.
That was the prompt.
That was the prompt. Sarah.
So, all right. I'm gonna preface this by saying I am very happy with the fact that there were no Christmas episodes of Stargate.
Correct. I think that is important to say as well.
Yeah.
This is not us saying this is what it should be. This is a thought exercise.
Because more often than not, I think holiday episodes are a big stinker. Like, if I'm not watching them on Christmas and I'm just like doing a rewatch in like fucking April, I'm skipping the Christmas episodes. I don't want to watch them.
What's my word, Sarah, about holiday stuff versus non?
What?
It's not holiday stuff's not evergreen.
Yeah. It's not.
Nope.
I'll only watch them certain times of year. I'll only watch them around Christmas. I think the X-Files is the exception that proves the rule. That is a solid episode, regardless whether if you were watching at Christmas or not.
I think that's why it's at the top of my list, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they had some other Christmas episodes that aren't as good, but still are fine to me. But when it comes to like other shows that I watch, I'm like, oh, fucking the Grey's Anatomy Christmas or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it dates it. I think it's only specific for that time of year. Anyway, I'm very glad that Stargate did not do a Christmas episode. I think it's very smart on their part.
Yes. This is not by any means saying that we think they should have.
Yeah.
So
and clear. The way I approached it, and the holiday episodes that I can tolerate, is when it's a regular episode, but it just happens to be Christmas. Like, okay, so it's not a Christmas-centric story. It just happens to be that time of year where you kind of say like Christmas decorations. With that being said, I chose to do this in a very logical way. I didn't just want to pick like an episode that I think would be easy to like, okay, make it Christmas now. I looked at all of the air dates for the shows, and it got a little hairy too, because there's different air dates for different networks, so to speak. So like there was the Showtime airing, and then there's the Sky One network. I don't know where that was, if that was like Canada or something.
In the UK, I believe.
Okay.
I think
so like there were different air dates for that. So I went with like, okay, let me look and see what episodes actually aired the closest to Christmas. And based off of that, whether it was the Sci-Fi Channel, the Showtime, or the Sky One, I'm like, okay, if one of them falls around Christmas, that's one that's up for grabs. So I had a couple to choose from. The Fifth Race was one of them. A Matter of Time, Summit, Smoke and Mirrors, and the one that I ended up choosing was Foothold. That aired in November, so it's closer, but that's the one I ended up picking. And essentially, this is my summary, and then I plugged it into Chat GPT to get a little more out of it. But essentially,
and it started writing a whole script for you, right?
It did. So yeah, I basically was like, I forget what the prompt was, but it started to write a whole script. I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a better way to do this. Essentially, in my mind, how I would like to see it, the episode is pretty much the same. It just happens to take place on Christmas Eve. So SG-1 gets back from being off-world, excited for like a holiday party, and they do a Secret Santa. Teal'c and Sam save the day as normal. You know, she teams up with Mayborn. You're an idiot every day of the week, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing happens. And then it ends with them finally getting to have their holiday party and doing their gift exchange. Mayborn sticks around too because he was actually helpful for once. And I plugged this into Chat GPT, and I kind of just kept the last part because I wanted to see like what would AI gifts be as part of this exchange. So Daniel receives a world's okayest archaeologist mug from Sam, which he laughs about but secretly loves.
I got a world's best something as well in mine. It's so good.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even read these yet. This is a blind read. I
Nice,
did not read this yet. Teal'c unwraps a box of traditional Earth holiday sweaters, complete with reindeer and snowflakes, and decides to wear one at the party, much to everyone's amusement. I love that. I can totally see Teal'c and Chris Judge doing that. Jack gets a novelty gift of a talking fish that sings holiday songs, which he immediately hangs on the wall, joking that it keeps him company during lonely missions.
That's
pretty
so
good.
good. That's so good.
Sam receives a bizarre inflatable Santa from Daniel, who claims he thought it would make a great addition to her lab. And Mayborn, in a twist of fate, ends up with a How to Be a Better Villain self-help book, which he can't help but chuckle at. The episode concludes with SG1 and their friends gathered around, sharing stories, enjoying the festive meal, and laughing together. They toasted teamwork, friendship, and the spirit of the season. Wow, AI really laid it on thick.
Oh yeah, it does.
So yeah, that was my, again, like, I don't want to like make it about like Santa is secretly a Gould, type of thing. I wanted to take an episode that just happened to air around Christmas time, and like make it Christmas type of thing, but without changing the episode.
Sure. I have similar vibes for mine. There were no drastic. I thought about my process for picking one was, what episode can I choose that I know has a decent couple of scenes set on Earth, preferably at one of their homes or something like that, because again, it needs to fit. It's not something you're trying to smash into, like, we don't gate into a holiday planet to like Santa Planet or anything like that. So I chose, actually it's a two-parter, but I chose Lost City parts 1 and 2.
I was thinking when you mentioned like at their homes, I'm like, that's when I thought of right away.
Lost City parts 1 and 2. So I also had ChatGPT help me walk through this. I did make quite a few changes after the fact, but I had to leave some of the language in because it's so funny to read this, y'all.
Okay.
Because the first thing I asked it was, what if I set the SG1 episodes Lost City parts 1 and 2 during Christmas? And ChatGPT goes, setting Lost City during Christmas would be a fascinating twist, adding a layer of thematic resonance to the urgency and stakes of the story. The juxtaposition of holiday warmth and impending catastrophe could enhance both the tension and the character moments. Which is true. Like, this is actually true. Like, this is why I saw it as potentially a really cool like holiday episode. So you've got the opening scene at the SGC. Well, before the like SGC scene, like Jack's in his house filling out that crossword. It could be all holiday crossword clues. There could be a tree in the background. It's very easy to set the scene as holiday. But the episode begins with the SGC staff decorating the base for Christmas. I don't think they need to decorate, but I do like the idea of a small, slightly lopsided Christmas tree in the corner of the control room. And again, here's the gift thing from ChatGPT. Carter, Daniel, and Teal'c exchange lighthearted gifts while Jack receives a world's best Colonel mug from Hammond. It shows Hammond. Teal'c, you get a lot of great moments with Teal'c for like Christmas traditions. So Teal'c tries eggnog for the first time, finds it amusingly perplexing. Daniel muses about the cross-cultural significance of holidays. The festivities are obviously interrupted when word comes in about an ancient repository potentially leading to the Lost City. So that's when they have to go off-world to go on their mission. Obviously, then Jack gets his brain sucked again, and they come back to Earth, and then you're having to deal with that. But you got Kinsey in there too. So Kinsey could be really obnoxious in a lot of ways. I love this. At a tense briefing, Vice President Kinsey is even more obnoxious, framing the mission stakes in the context of a season of goodwill while undermining Hammond's leadership. Dude, so good.
That's
so
funny.
Good. President Hayes, sporting a Santa tie, delivers a sharp rebuttal to Kinsey, blending holiday cheer with political diplomacy. we split it up in, let's talk about this aspect of it. So this is where I'm going down. So we did Kinsey. This is Jack and his choice to get his brain sucked, basically, or dumped again. Jack's decision to risk his mind by downloading the ancient knowledge takes on a new weight during the Christmas setting. His sacrifice resonates as a symbolic gift to humanity, embodying the season themes of selflessness and
Getting
hope.
deep.
And in a quiet moment, Jack walks through the SGC corridors adorned with Christmas lights. Don't think they'd be allowed to adorn them with Christmas lights. But,
Yeah.
he reflects on his son. Be a good
Okay.
moment to bring,
Yeah.
because when Charlie we stopped talking about Charlie after a certain point in the show
Yeah.
anyway. So the family and togetherness aspect could be something. It gave because the biggest thing, the reason I chose this episode was the scene at his house when Carter shows up first, and then Daniel and Teal'c show up, and then Hammond shows up. Like, they all show up at Jack's house.
Uh-oh.
Am I still here?
Oh, you're back.
Am I back now?
Yeah.
I don't know how much you got, so I'm
Hammond showed up.
Yeah, Hammond, they all show up at his house.
Mhm.
Like, and that felt like such a moment to, like, you could have a Christmas tree there. Like, it kind of feels very natural that you could throw it in there.
Yeah.
But Carter shows up first, so, like, she comes in, she gives Jack, like, a Christmas ornament, a very heartfelt gesture, something like that. But Jack, of course, is going to make some remark about it being his last Christmas, probably, because he would do something like that. And this is the ChatGPT line that I sent you. But the weight of their unspoken feelings lingers.
Wait, I didn't see that. Was that in our fries chat?
It was in the chat. I was like, even ChatGPT ships them. Come on. The weight of their unspoken feelings lingers.
And then the saxophone starts to play.
But you got some really cool potential Daniel Teal'c interactions. Daniel and Teal'c share a poignant conversation about the universality of hope and renewal in different cultures. Be a really cool conversation. And then Teal'c actually later gives Daniel a present as a gift instead of the opposite. And, like, it'd be really cute,
Yeah.
for Teal'c to be like, I'm embracing this culture.
Yeah.
Then you've obviously got the climactic ending in Antarctica anyway. You got snow. Snow's included. This is the part that I really worked on the most out of ChatGPT. Like, I added a lot of stuff to it. So the episode ends with the team heading back from Antarctica at night. It's got to be dark or something. Jack's choice looms large over the group, like it does. Like, Sam's like, we had to freeze you. Like, he's, whatever. And
never let go.
Right. Sorry. Carter knows that the stars seem unusually bright, and Daniel responds in support of Sam's worry. Maybe it's a sign. And then, to be continued, because you got to make him wait for the payoff. But a nice, like, little summation of it is the holiday backdrop amplifies the themes of sacrifice, hope, and renewal central to the storyline. The SGC's small moments of joy and camaraderie contrast with the larger stakes, reminding us that they're of what they're fighting to protect. So I think it'd be a really cool episode, or double episode, to be set at Christmas time.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's mostly, for me, it was the scene at his house.
Yes.
That's what started it for me.
Yeah.
Because that's just such a natural moment to have, that camaraderie and that, like, holiday time.
Yeah. And I like your approach to, again, like, if there was an episode of Stargate that was a Christmas episode, I would just rather it be like a normal episode that just happens to take place around Christmas, because those are the kind that I can stomach other times of year too, and it doesn't, like, ruin it completely for me.
And the in the original Lost City, during that scene, the way that all those characters are feeling is very appropriate for, like, a holiday time too. They're all sitting there going, we care about you. We're sad about what's happening. We're worried about what's it's all that same feeling already.
Yeah.
So really, you're really not even changing much of anything. And, like, even, like, Sam coming in first, when they're having that awkward conversation, and he's like, you're the world's greatest natural resource or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, it'd be so easy for that to start with just, like, I get, like, a little gift from her or something,
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't even take you out of the episode much at all.
Yeah. That was a good one. That's a good one to pick.
But
Cool.
it aired in March, which was why when you told me you were going for the ones around Christmas, I was like, oh, we're fine.
Oh, you're in the clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the clear. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's
those
your
are-
little dose of Stargate for you.
Yes. We promised. It came
Yeah.
at an hour and 30 minutes. So thanks for hanging on, y'all.
We'll have to timestamp this for people so they can skip.
I'll probably cut this
Yeah.
as a clip too, just so you can watch just this part if you want to.
Yeah. So do we have any good comments that we want
I
to
didn't
showcase?
start any. Mara was like, Teal would 100% be into Christmas and doing all the Christmas things.
I do love the idea of like him learning about Christmas, just like
Yeah.
from what we've seen before of like him immersing himself into Earth culture, like Star Wars, humans fight in a ring of Jello, like that type of thing.
Yeah, he loves it. So
Yeah.
that would totally be natural. Mara also said Hammond shows up and then they do White Elephant. Sorry, Wells. Thanks, Mara. Appreciate you. Let's see, what else do we have? A lot of people talking about pre-built gingerbread houses, but they don't necessarily eat them afterwards because they don't taste as good.
Yeah, I don't eat them. Like for me, they're not for eating, it's for decorating. And I'll eat some of the candies as I do them.
Yeah. A lot of people have never had grits. Y'all, we need to fix this somehow. I'll make it happen.
You have to do a make
if
grits with me.
Right. Yeah, or I'll just like bring all the things I need for grits to whenever the next big companion meetup, and I'll make all of y'all grits.
You know what, Mara? Hold on, I can't. Oh no, I don't have the power. Mara said the proposal is my romance Christmas go-to. Betty White all the way. That is a good one, Mara, because that's another one that
I will watch that advertised as Christmas either.
Yeah, I will watch that any time of year, but it does take place around Christmas. You're right. Yeah, that's a good one. I love Sandra Bullock too.
And Betty White, you gotta love Betty White.
Yes, rest in
She's
peace.
still on my car, Sarah.
I love that.
Sarah gave me for Christmas one year, since we're talking about Christmas, this like thing that you can put on your window. It's got holes so you can see through it on the other side, but it's Betty White and she's doing this like judgy look over her glasses at you.
Yeah.
And I get so many double takes when I drive down the road.
Yeah, it's like a decal that you put in like your passenger side or like the back window, so it looks like
my back passenger side, so it doesn't interfere with too much.
I've seen ones with Donald Trump and I've seen ones with the Queen. The one with the Queen was pretty funny because she's like waving like the whole royal hand wave.
So good.
Yeah. So good comments. Thanks for hanging around with us, guys. But we're not going to see you between now and Christmas if you celebrate. So have a very merry, happy Christmas with all your friends and family, and eat lots of good food and enjoy it. Watch some Christmas movies.
Yeah, I'll try to post some posts on Instagram with all the lists of things that we had. So if you don't know anything that we were talking about, you can look things up.
I'm gonna need some of those.
A lot of stuff. There's a lot of that stuff. But yeah, Merry Christmas, Merry Chrysler, Merry Crisis. However you celebrate.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. And come next Saturday.
Yeah.
Hang out with us during the day. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. British. Come hang out with us in Terrell Rothery. We're gonna have a great time. It's guaranteed to be sassy because it can't not be sassy when we're talking with Terrell. That's just how it goes. So
she's a hoot.
She is definitely a hoot. So how are we ending this out?
I don't know.
I got it.
Do it.
So Sam and Jack are hanging around the gate room during Christmas time. There's a lopsided tree in the corner of the control room, and I gotta get it right. The weight of their unspoken feelings lingers
Stop.
as Carter says, "Close the iris. Merry Christmas."